Interestingly enough, Enslaved Odyssey to the West is a video game adapted from an old Chinese novel called Journey to the West, and since this game features giant robots and explosions, it's pretty clear how close they follow their source material. This game was developed by Ninja Theory, so you can expect good animation and motion capture. The story begins after some big war on board a slave ship, and you play as a burly white guy named Monkey, played by the god among men himself, Andy Serkis. When Monkey escapes captivity, he accidentally causes the ship to crash in a post-apocalyptic New York. When he gets his bearings, he meets another captive named Tripitaka, played by Lindsay Shaw, who is in such dire need of help that she placed a slave headband on Monkey that will kill him if he strays too far away or if she dies. Trip explains that she needs help getting back to her village and will release Monkey after he fulfills his end of the bargain. Along the way, Monkey experiences glitches in the headband that show him live-action images from before the war, which I can only imagine are random pictures the developers had sitting on their desks. The gameplay is very enjoyable. Monkey can use his staff to strike enemies, and it can also shoot explosive bolts and EMP blasts. Unlike Heavenly Sword and DMC, there is only one style of combat to use, but the one they stuck with works really well. Enemies range from a large variety of mechs and turrets that require slightly different strategies to attack, so nothing feels stale. He also climbs for a good amount of the game in a similar fashion to Uncharted, but unlike Uncharted, there are no secret paths to take. In fact, there isn't that much in the way of secrets here. There are also some elements in the game that appear every so often, such as this hoverboard called the Cloud, that seems to work whenever it feels like, or rather, whenever the plot demands it does. Even though Trip follows you throughout the game, it never feels like a frustrating escort mission. There are times where you'll have to save her, but she usually stays out of your way. She can also be commanded to distract enemies and provide upgrades for you, so she does have a purpose. The characters are all well developed, and the relationship between Monkey and Trip becomes more believable as they learn to appreciate each other. Later in the story, you come across a pig-looking man named Pigsy, played by Richard Ridings. He's a pretty amusing character, and there's even a DLC expansion where you get to play as him. The environments are alright, mostly buildings covered in vines and trees, so it's the technology that creates the atmosphere, even though it sometimes takes a while for the textures to load in. If I had to complain, there are a few frame rate issues and the control delays sometimes, but nothing major. The story doesn't have a great conclusion since it tries to introduce an unseen antagonist to explain everything. I really enjoyed playing this game, but I wish it gave me a little more reason to keep returning to it. With that said, I would still suggest that you give it a try. It's a journey that I was glad to be a part of.
Unidentified craft, please transmit your landing codes.
The landing codes?
Affirmative, transmit your landing codes or we will be forced to assume your ship is hostile and we will open fire.
Copy. Just a minute. My landing codes are, 1.
1?
Yes.
1 what?
2. Hey, I think it worked.
Are you coming?
Yeah.
No.
Well, this is intimate.
Yeah. Well, at least I get to be on the inside this time.
Monkey, would you mind shifting your left arm slightly?
I don't really see how I can.
It's just your hand is right on my penis.